Some San Francisco high school freshmen had their first day of school away from school on Friday, visiting a big college campus. Chronicle reporter Jill Tucker joined them for her story in today's newspaper and joins us now on the KCBS Newsline. Thanks very much for joining us, Jill.
Oh, my pleasure. Good morning.
Good morning. So when did high school become all about college?
Well, I think it's always been the idea that kids would have their sights set on college after high school, at least in the last several decades, with the importance of college and having a career and a job. But what they're doing at Gateway, which is a charter school and non-traditional public school, is that on that very first day of freshman year, they're getting those kids to think about their future and what high school means in terms of trying to be successful later in life.
Mm-hmm. So where'd they go?
They went to Cal. They basically, their first day of high school, instead of fiddling with their lockers and trying to find their classrooms and catching up with classmates, they boarded buses in San Francisco and went to UC Berkeley and took a tour and looked at the bookstore. They went went all the way around campus touring, went into classrooms, and got a good idea of what it's like after high school, and to a certain idea gave them the perception of seeing themselves on a college campus. Many of these kids have never been on a college campus, have never thought of themselves as college students, and this put them in that setting on their first day of high school.
The first day of high school can be intimidating enough, but to start it off on a college campus, how did those kids do?
Well, they were nervous. I mean, they all had, a lot of them had planned their clothes the night before, and typical first day of high school. So they kind of were that too cool for school, but at the same time, you could tell that they were opening up as the day went on. They were looking at the price tag of college textbooks, and you could see some of the emotion when they could see textbooks costing $200. I think their parents would agree with them there. But they, I think it was one of those experiences. They were nervous, they were shy, and at the same time, you could sort of see the wheels spinning about who they wanted to be and where they wanted to be in 4 years.
Mm-hmm. So did any of them tell you that they actually, from that experience, felt like high school was going to be a lot of work for them and they would work hard so they could get to college?
Yeah, you could see them. I think they were scared about the homework. There were some alumni and current students there, telling them how much homework they would have and how hard they would have to work. And you could see that was a little intimidating for some students. But I think that many of them said they made the connection that those nights of homework, working on good grades, that there was a reason for it, and that time mattered, and that falling behind, not doing your homework actually did matter. And I think that's hard to see when you're 13, 14 years old and just hitting high school. It seems all about, social life and where you fit in and all of those things. I mean, you're just hitting your stride in adolescence. And yet I think that it clicked for some that, you have to work hard, but down the road, it really does matter.
Mm-hmm. Did you get any information or statistics on how many of these students, and they were from Gateway, as you mentioned, how many of these students actually go on to college?
Yeah, Gateway is, as I said, a charter school. It's a non-traditional school. It's a super diverse school in San Francisco. About 40% are low income, pretty almost even mix, representative mix of the students of San Francisco, many disadvantaged, many not disadvantaged. But at that school, of the graduates, about 85% or so graduate, according to state statistics, and about 98% of those kids go on to college.
All right, Jill, thanks very much for joining us.
My pleasure.
All right, that is Jill Tucker. You can read all about her story in today's Chronicle.